It started with little things, not lies, exactly just omissions. Emily had worked at the luxury boutique for 2 years when she got promoted to assistant manager. Her boss, Charles, was this older guy mid-40s, designer suits, sultan pepper hair, polished charm, married, 2 kids, country club weekends. The kind of man you assume is safe because he's already taken. I never had a reason not to trust her. She'd talk about him the way you talk about a professor or a mentor. Charles says I'm ready to run a store someday. Or, Charles taught me more in a year than anyone else did in 5. She admired him. Maybe a little too much, but I didn't see it then. I was just proud of her. We lived in a small 2-bedroom apartment downtown, nothing fancy, but it was ours. She'd come home late sometimes, kick off her heels, pour wine, and vent about entitled customers or the stress of quarterly numbers. I'd listen, rub her feet, cook dinner when she was too tired. That was our rhythm, me trying to support her, her chasing something I didn't fully understand. Then came the late nights, inventory counts, training meetings, vendor dinners. I believed her because what's the alternative? To become the paranoid boyfriend who checks her phone. I didn't want to be that guy, but something shifted around month 3 of her new role. Her texts started getting colder, short replies, hours late. Her kisses felt distracted. Her phone stopped living on the coffee table and started living in her purse, screen turned down, locked with a new passcode. When I asked why, she said, "Corporate's been strict about privacy." I nodded, pretended I understood. That was the first time I felt something slip. One night she came home buzzing from some big dinner with Charles and the regional manager. She was dressed in a silky navy dress I hadn't seen before, her hair done like she was attending a gala. She said they went to some upscale restaurant, work expenses. She kissed me and said, "You'd love Charles. You two would actually get along." I laughed and said, "He's married. I think I'll pass." She gave me a playful shove, but her smile didn't reach her eyes. Still, I ignored it. Weeks passed. One night she got home after 11. She said they had a surprise inventory audit. I believed her. Even when she didn't smell like the store anymore, she smelled like cologne I couldn't place. I asked who wears that scent. She shrugged, said it was probably a customer. Some of them try everything before buying. Then came the night that still replays in my head like a scene I can't rewrite. She had just left for a weekend conference. Just her and Charles, supposedly flying out to meet with a vendor. I stayed behind. She packed light, left in a rush, said she'd text when she landed. She never did. I tried to sleep that night but couldn't. Round 1 a.m., I got up, wandered the apartment. I don't know what I was looking for, maybe nothing, maybe something. That's when I saw it. Sitting right there on our bedroom nightstand, bowl gleaming, impossible to miss, was a men's watch. Gold, thick-banded, still ticking. Not mine. And definitely not forgotten by accident. I picked it up slowly, like it might burn me. The back had an engraving. To see him, 10 years of building greatness. With pride, F. Holdings, Charles M. My stomach dropped. Not just because I knew whose it was, but because it meant he'd been here. In our home. In our bedroom. And she hadn't even tried to hide it. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there on the edge of the bed, the watch in my hand, the ceiling fan above me spinning like it had more answers than I did. I didn't cry. Not then. I didn't rage. I didn't even call her. I just stared at that gold band, imagining the moment she'd taken it off him, or worse, the moment he'd left it behind without care, without guilt. She hadn't texted once, not even a landed safe. Nothing. By morning, I'd convinced myself I needed proof, something concrete beyond a forgotten watch. So I drove downtown to her store just to feel close to her world, maybe spot a clue I'd missed before. I parked across the street, watching people go in and out. Luxury shoppers, suits, perfume in the air. But Emily wasn't there. She was supposed to be on that vendor trip, right? I called her around noon. It rang 4 times, then voicemail. I didn't leave a message. The next day, she came home. I heard the key turn and forced myself to stay on the couch. I didn't want to meet her at the door. I didn't want to make this easier. She walked in like nothing was wrong, like she hadn't left pieces of another man behind in our bed. "Hey babe," she said, setting down her bag. "I brought wine." I didn't say a word. I just looked at her. Her makeup was fresh. Her blouse was crisp. But her eyes faltered when she saw my expression. "What?" she asked, laughing nervously. I stood up slowly and said, "You forgot something." She tilted her head. "What do you mean?" I walked past her into the bedroom and came back holding the watch. Her face drained of color. "I found it the night you left," I said. "You didn't even try to hide it." She opened her mouth, then closed it. Her hands shook slightly. "It's not what you think," she said quickly. "Rehearsed." I nodded. "You're right. It's worse, Darren. Let me explain." "You don't get to explain in my apartment." Wearing his cologne, while his watch sits on my nightstand, she flinched. "I didn't mean for it to happen, but it did. And now I know, and I need you to say it, Emily. Don't insult me with lies. Just say it." Her eyes welled up. "I slept with him," she whispered. "But it wasn't serious. It got complicated." I laughed not because it was funny, but because the word complicated had never sounded so simple. "I gave you everything I had," I said. "Time, support, my home, my trust. And you gave it away for wine, hotel rooms, and a man who forgets his jewelry after." She tried to close the distance between us. "Darren, I love you." "No, Emily, you loved what I gave you. The stability, the safety. But you wanted the power, the thrill, the flattery." She looked like she might collapse. "But I didn't care anymore. You made your choice," I said. "And now I'm making mine." Then I walked into the bedroom, grabbed a duffel bag from the closet, and started packing. "Please," she said behind me, crying now. "Please don't do this." I didn't answer. I just zipped the bag, walked past her, and left. The door clicked behind me like punctuation, like an ending. I didn't go far at first. I stayed at my friend Caleb's for a few nights. An old college buddy who didn't ask for details, just handed me a beer and said, "Guest room's yours." That silence was what I needed. Not advice, not sympathy, just space. Meanwhile, Emily texted, "A lot, please. Darren, let me explain more. I messed up. I know I did. But we can fix this. I'll quit the job. I'll block him. I'll do anything." But I didn't reply. I'd said everything I needed to. Words wouldn't build back what she demolished. What haunted me most wasn't the affair, it was the ease of it. How casual she'd been. How quickly she tried to rewrite what we were into something temporary, replaceable. And how she never once said she was sorry until she got caught. One night, I went back to the apartment while she was at work. I moved fast, packed up the rest of my things, left the key on the counter, and took one last look at the space we'd built a life in. The photos were still on the fridge. Our plants still lined the windowsill. But it all felt like a set from a play that had ended. The actors gone. The meaning drained. On the way out, I saw the watch again. She'd moved it tucked it inside a drawer, like that could erase the truth. I left it there. Let her explain that to herself. I signed a lease on a smaller place uptown. Nothing fancy. Just mine, clean walls, quiet nights. No perfume in the pillows that didn't belong. Days passed. Weeks. She stopped texting eventually. Then one Sunday, months later, I ran into her by accident outside a cafe we used to love. She looked smaller somehow, tired. She smiled weakly. "I didn't think I'd ever see you again," she said. "You won't," I replied. Not cruel, just clear. Her eyes darted to my hand. I wasn't wearing the ring. Neither was she. "I was stupid," she said. "I ruined the best thing in my life." I nodded. "Yeah, you did." She waited, like maybe I'd soften, say we could talk, or meet again. But I didn't. "I hope you're happy," she said quietly, a last attempt to hold some dignity. "I'm not happy," I said. "I'm healing. There's a difference." And then I walked away. No dramatic music, no second glance, just footsteps forward. Because that's what you do when someone shows you who they are. You stop begging for them to be someone else.